Sometimes there are certain things that make us really think about who Jesus Christ is and all that Jesus Christ has to offer us and what our faith is all about. And I was reading an article by a priest who came to realize this with an event that happened in his parish. There was a man in the parish that was beloved by everybody. He was an older retired gentleman and had spent many years as a teacher. He was beloved by his family, a wonderful neighbor. Many of the children kind of saw in him a kind of a grandfatherly role. He was very quick to volunteer for things in his parish and very quick to volunteer for things in the community. So everybody knew him and everybody loved him. And there's one thing that you could almost say he watches by, is that at a certain time each morning, he would go for a walk with his dog. One morning, though, something happened that changed his life. He was walking, and someone decided to rob him. And when he was robbed, it was almost like the story in The Good Samaritan, where the man was pretty much robbed on the road and left almost for dead. He was taken to the hospital and taken to the ICU, and it didn't look as if he was going to make it. The community was very saddened by what happened, and they certainly wanted some help in their faith. So after Mass one day, the priest invited the people in the parish who wanted to spend some time and pray for this man to do so. So after the Mass, many people stayed in the church. They began to pray. And as they were praying, the priest invited people to say what their intentions for this man happened to be. And people were praying that he would be at peace. People were praying that he was comfortable. People were praying for his family. People were praying for an end of violence and all sorts of things. But the priest noticed that most of the people were praying almost as if the man had already died. Until one person started saying his intentions. And that was the parish's custodian. Most people didn't ever hear him speak because he was normally a quiet man. But he had a very strong voice at this point, and he started saying, "Lord, when Larry was out of work, you found him a job. When Mary was having troubles, you came to her aid. When I was having issues, you rescued me. Now I'm asking, no, not asking, I'm begging for you to heal that man. I want him to come out of that hospital. I want him to come out of that hospital alive. I want him to be returning to his old state of life. I want to see him walking down the street. I'm asking you and I'm begging you, Lord, to do this." Then he started, and by the way, I want the dog healed too. And so that was pretty much his prayer. The priest thought it was very sincere, but didn't think much about it until he went to visit the man in the hospital. And they're preparing to move him from the ICU to a regular room. And his condition had improved. And though the healing was not immediate, it took some time to recover, and it took some time in rehab. This man did return to taking his dog for a walk, because the Lord not only heard this man's prayers for the man who was attacked, but also for the dog. And what this priest realized that he was encountering with the man who said this prayer was someone who really believed in the power of Jesus Christ. He prayed like he believed it and acted as he believed it. And certainly something great had happened as a result of that prayer. And I think that can help us think about our gospel today. Because we had the royal official who comes to Jesus, who wants his son to be cured. And Jesus tells him that he can go home. His son will be healed. But Jesus didn't actually go to the house to perform the miracle. The royal official had to take Jesus on his word, which he did, which isn't something we always see in the gospel. But this man did believe and didn't need to see the sign, and got home and realized that Jesus Christ was true to his word. everything that Jesus was promising came true. He came to believe. And I think that as we reflect on this gospel, it helps us to think about who we believe Jesus Christ to be, that he is God's Son, that he was sent to us because of God's great love for us, as we heard in yesterday's gospel, that he wants to be our constant companion and our guide. He wants to be with us each and every step of the way. He wants to do good things for us in our lives, and to know what life's most challenging moments he's with us, because we see the depth of his love from his death on the cross. But know that was only temporary because of his glorious resurrection. So as we reflect on this gospel today, maybe it helps us to think about who Jesus Christ is for each and every one of us, and how much God loves us by sending his Son, Jesus Christ. And know that he has great love, great power, and a great desire to be an important part of our lives. He invites us to welcome him in, and we're invited to accept that invitation.